Hello and welcome to the Crow's Nest. My name is Brandon Kane, and I do appreciate you for tuning on in here today. So we're going to have a little bit of late afternoon, late summer baseball action going on. It felt like the right kind of day to do it to me. I don't know, just something about it. Got our Mariners with the bases loaded here to start this first inning off. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was trying to get another video up over on my other side of things, so just a little late, but we got it almost under the wire. It's going to be a very interesting game here for our Mariners, who are looking to get back into on top in this series. Currently split 1-1, and I believe a 4-game set. And we've got Mr. Canzone here with a 3-2 count, bases loaded, one man out. See if Canzone can make some hay here in this at bat. You would really love to be able to put some runs up on the board here quickly if you're the Mariners, because you are going to be going to a bullpen by committee today. That ball's outside, and he's going to draw a walk. Great at bat there by Canzone. Nice eye. Let's take the freebie from Tampa Bay, and it will be 1-0 Mariners. How about that? How about that? But Mariners had Bryan Woo scratched today from the starting rotation, so it will be through the bullpen today, whatever we are going to get done. And hopefully they can carry through, as the bullpen has been a little bit shaky here recently. A little bit dodgy. Ty frames up the plate, takes an 0-1 pitch here. See if Ty can make something happen. Outside. Nitro Hawk, how you doing, man? He says, wait, we're up already? Yep, we got Canzone's drawing a bases loaded walk. Starting pitcher here for Savale for Tampa Bay is kind of struggling to find his control here a little bit out the gate. And Franz hits that on the button. That's a base hit out into center field. Center fielder's quickly going to be up with it, and he'll rocket it on in home. But Teoscar Hernandez is hustling, and he's going to get on in there for 2 runs. So Ty France, bit of a struggle this year for France. Not a bad year, but just not his best of years. Great little hit there from him. He's kind of been swinging a little bit better bat recently, a little bit. It's kind of swing that I've come to expect from France in years past. You know, good hard contact on the ball. Don't do too much with it. Just get the barrel of the bat on the baseball. Mariners coming out looking hungry here to start this first inning. Showing a good eye at the plate. You've had already 2 walks here in this first inning, making the starter pitcher for Tampa Bay work, which is great. I feel like he's going to eventually settle in here. Take advantage of it as you can. As you may. John Knapp says Scott is not doing a good job managing this pitching staff. Yeah, I would agree with you, John. At the head of it, I don't think I see really what his purposeful approach is behind how he manages the staff. Is he doing so from an analytic standpoint? Is he doing so from a gut instinct standpoint? We had a game a couple of weeks ago with Castillo up at the hill, where Castillo was flowing along, going good, still not really high up above the pitch mark of 100 pitches. And Scott, chose to take him out. And you go, well, you just let your guy kind of go in there and roll with it. And then you have a game like the other night with Kirby, where it's like, well, I don't trust my bullpen now. And I get that there's the ups and downs, and maybe right now he just thinks his bullpen's a little cold. But, when you get to the point where even the pitcher is, and Kirby saying in an interview, it's like, well, yeah, I was probably ready to be out there. He's kind of gassed. And you go, yeah, well, it makes sense. It makes sense to go to somebody else at that point. It's a different scenario. I don't know. I just look for a little bit more of the consistency in how he manages the staff, and it's not always there, to your point. 1-2, 2-2 count now here to Ford. 7th hole hitter here for Seattle. Savale already up to 27 pitches. Nitro Hawk, could you explain what happened with the whole Kirby thing? I think Seattle's been pretty dead set on trying to keep their starting, especially the young starters, away from getting up over 100 pitches. And Scott Service essentially tried to push it a little bit further, and then Kirby gave up the 2-run home run, and then Kirby had the press conference afterwards where he said he would have liked to have been taken out of the game, where he would have thought he was going to be taken out of the game. He apologized for it then today. And it's not a great look for the kid to say that. You know, it's more of a behind closed doors kind of conversation. But the point stands. It's just sometimes a little strange with Scott on the bullpen front of things, just a bit. He doesn't always make a lot of sense to me with what his approach is. And this just coming in quite a difference to a guy like Piniella back in the day when you watched him and how he managed bullpen. You always knew what Lou was going to do at any one given time. You could read what Lou was going to do. You knew what his approach was. 3-2 pitch and Ford swings. It would have been ball 4. He's doing a good job of taking his pitches in that bat and being patient, but then got a little impatient there at the end. Daniel W. says, how's it going? It's going great, man. I'm doing awesome. Got opening football game tomorrow. Got the Mariners half game out of first place. I mean, it's not exactly sports paradise, but it's pretty close. Woo! Solid swing by Rojas. He crushed that pitch, but just sent it barely foul down the right pole. John Knapp says, who will Kelnick replace on the roster? Marlowe. Yeah, I think that they're going to like enough what they've got from Canzone to keep him here. And so it's Marlowe's the guy to go. His bat's cooled off since kind of coming in and having a bit of a hot start there. I think it'll be a pretty easy decision for the ball club to go to Marlowe on that. 0-1 pitch here, bounced at the plate. Hopefully Kelnick can come in here and give us another bat. Maybe he's got those fresh legs, you know, John? Lineup could sure need it. Nitro says, seems like if your pitcher says that, you take him out. Yeah, I mean, usually you're going to go out to the mound, and this is where I don't like, for instance, having coaches that have their pitching coaches go out there to talk to pitchers in moments like that. You know, where you want to, if I'm a manager, I'm going to walk out to the mound, I'm going to look my guy in the eyes, and I'm going to say, how are you feeling? Where are you at? Where's your head thinking? Where are you a little more, you know, from a stamina standpoint, where are you standing? Or if not, ask about it that in the dugout. And I just get the impression that with this ball's going to be hit foul. With Kirby having those comments in the press, it would lead me to believe that there wasn't really any communication from service there in this aspect of things. And we get back to the frustration in how he's dealing with this rotation and staff at times. Not, you know, just his approach. It's like this is not like advanced coaching stuff in baseball. You go over and talk to your starting pitcher as he gets deep into the game and you check with him. How's it going? Where's it at? You know, but now these coaches, they want to throw their pitching coaches out there instead of them in those moments. If I was a head coach, if I was a manager, I would never, unless I needed to send my pitching coach out there because he's doing something mechanically that I need him to discuss to him about. But if it's out there to go do a heat check, where you at? Where's your head at? Ball's hit up into the air into left field, and this should be caught. Mariners able to do a little bit of damage. Three runs on only 2 hits. We'll see if this bullpen by committee thing can get it done today. Daniel says, football's here today. Football's here tomorrow. Woo-wee. Oh, buddy, I am psyched as well for it. I cannot wait for football, man. It's going to be a great game. We're going to have the red zone going at 10 tomorrow, right? Getting all ready to go. Gavin says, Erasmo Ramirez throwback. Laughing out loud. John says, I don't think Kirby said anything in between innings. I don't think he did either, John, but this is my question on this, because if he arrives at the place where that's so at the forefront of his mind in the press conference after the game, you would have thought maybe it had come up between him and the manager then at some point through the between innings spot of this. There seems like there's some miscommunication here somewhere, I guess, John, you know, in that moment. And I'm not going to have that reflective of the young player. You know, you as the manager's got to be the guy with the strong hand there to clearly communicate what you're doing and what's going on and what you're thinking to your players. You don't want them to have those kind of questions in their mind, even though it's a young man moment for Kirby, and it's not a big deal. It really isn't. But it just all kind of goes back to the representation of there's just a little of an unusual nature at times, the way Service goes about managing his bullpen and bringing in, just he's a little like all over the place. It's like last year bringing Robbie Ray in out of the bullpen to face Yordan Alvarez when Robbie Ray's never come out of the bullpen. And this isn't Randy Johnson you're bringing out back in 95. This is Robbie Ray. And it just doesn't make sense, No sense. One second, folks. All right, so we get Thornton up on the mound here for your Mariners. He's got a 2 ERA this season. Mariners going to try to string this one together with the bullpen today. News and analysis with Arturo. Go Mariners. Quickly 0-2. John, do you think we'll get Ohtani? I would say, John, in my honest opinion, I think it would be a fool's errand of anybody, and they would be lying to you if they told you that there's a place that they know, based on anything we're hearing or reading, that Ohtani is going to come to Seattle or anywhere else. I think that it is very much in that question mark mode of he's kind of all options are a bit on the table as it appears right now. But if we come down to the 5-6 things or who makes the best argument to Ohtani, if I'm Ohtani and I'm going through those list of teams, and I'm weighing the pluses and the minuses, I think that we offer the most pluses than anybody else. And I think that it was great to see the crowd showing him the love at the All-Star break and, chanting for him in the stadium and Seattle reporters going, would you come to Seattle? And there was that moment where he's asked, and instead of just going, I'm an Angel right now, we'll discuss it after the year. We'll figure out, giving you kind of the politician response. Instead, he kind of gives you this wry smile and shrugs. And he does it twice. And I know I'm probably reading too much into this, but I think that there is a definitely interest on both parts. And I think that it might come down to Seattle having to being willing to open up the purse strings and pay the price here and match the money that's out there. But I think that Seattle would be smart to do so. It makes so much sense from a fit standpoint and a need standpoint. It just makes sense. I mean, that's what I come down to. And it's a nice little opening battle here between Thornton and Lowe. Lowe is staying alive and putting some good hard swings here on pitches, but I go back and forth, 3-2 count. Doesn't get him by there. So we get an opening walk here for Thornton. Got a little bit too nibbly. Nibbly dibbly. So I think, John, we do have the best chance as much as anybody. Our locale and our close proximity to Japan, the active fan base we have here, the team that's ready to go and start really, truly, competing out here for World Series. It's young. He would fit right in. He wouldn't have to be some savior type. He's got a guy here in Julio that's, provides him some, I think he'd be batting behind Julio, but it does provide him a measure of, I think, protection within a lineup. I think, man, can you imagine you got Ohtani batting clean up behind Julio, and Julio always getting on first base, especially with just even those infield singles, and then Julio's got the first baseman on the bag, and now Ohtani just gets to pepper that right side with that hole that's created when you get the first baseman holding the runner. 2-1. Thornton kind of struggling to find a little bit of his control here. Louis, Jays are heating up. Do you think they would make it this year after the loss last year? Yeah, they got a pretty good, solid young team. Yeah, Eugenio Suarez is up with this ground ball. They're going to try to turn two and not have a chance to get it done. They do get the one out, though, at second. I I didn't think that they were done after last year necessarily. They were a well-run baseball franchise, and they've proven that out over many years. And they do have a good collection of other young talent outside of losing Robbie Ray the previous year or Teoscar this offseason. You know, they tend to be pretty good about keeping things restocked there. They never seem to be able to put a team together that's going to be like in a real elite team, but they can put a really good team together. One out here, runner on first. Thornton trying to keep him close. So, you know, we're going to have to deal with them, Louis. I don't think they're going away anytime soon here. We're going to have to take this wild card or take this division, and it's not going to be given to us. Great pitch. That was a good call, Blue. I think they were behind the dish there. He was kind of unsure if you would call that a strike, but that was a great pitch. 0-1. See, we get another ground ball double play here. That wouldn't be too bad. That's low. Gavin, 3/4 in Tampa Bay would be huge. That would be huge. I'll take it if we can pull that out. Come out with 3 of 4. That'd be great. I'll take 2 of 2 too, though. Just, you know, in my mind, we just got to get to those final 3 series of the year and then try to figure if we can make it go from there. John, are we going to re-sign T.O.? My feeling is this is why you come at, if I was, and I'm obviously not the general manager, I'm just speaking in theory here. This ball's hit up dead center to Julio. He's right underneath it here for out number 2. If I was the general manager, I would put an off-season plan together, if I'm Dipoto, to adding to this lineup and improving this lineup, not by a small margin or half margin, but considerably. And I believe that the way that you accomplish that is by first going out and you do the hard push for Shohei from the jump. You know, you tell Shohei, we want to make you the centerpiece of this offseason and what we're going to do. We want you. You are our number 1 priority target here. We're not going to be outbid for your services. We can make a great sales pitch as to why we are the ideal location for you. And we want to really knock this offseason out of the park. But here's the thing. We need to at least understand from you where the level of interest is. Because we don't want to be caught in some game when we're spending a month into free agency losing other guys because you're not sure about where you want to go. We're going to give you everything you want. You want to pitch here? You want to hit here? Whichever, fine. You want to be paid a certain, we'll match any amount. You know, we'll check off every box you could want of your desires. Our desire, though, is here. We got to get on this quick, and this ball's hit down the line, then this is going to be trouble as it's going to get down into the corner. And it's not well played by Canzone, who stumbles and bubbles with the ball, allowing the runner to score. Kelenic can't get back fast enough. It's not even a hard play to make out there, and Canzone made a great play the other night in the catch and foul ground there, but you got to, come on, kid. That ball's got to get up. That saves a run by keeping the ball coming in there with 2 outs. And he just bobbles it there. All right, 3-1. Tampa Bay quickly back in some runs here. Come on, Thornton, shut this down. So, John, I know I'm not answering your question about T.O., but I look to gauge my interest very quickly off of Shohei so that I can double back around to T.O. if I have to. If the answer is no, if he isn't interested, if he wants to go somewhere else, okay, then let's go look back then maybe at T.O. I don't think that T.O. would be the forefront guy I'd want to lean into, but if there may not be a lot of great options out there. And what is nice about T.O. is you don't have to make a trade to get that in there. And if it is a market that doesn't have many hitters out there available, then we might have to get creative with our approach. And, you know, spending a little more money for a little older player than we'd like in T.O., trading some of the pitching talent for other hitting talent elsewhere, mixing it up and getting a little more creative in that fashion. But for me, John, that would be option probably 2 or 3. I would prefer if we could find a left-handed stick that drew a little bit more walks, played a little bit better defense for right field, or get that in left field and move Kelenic to right. if we can't get Shohei. I like Teoscar's game. I love how he's come on this year. Can't deny that. And he's red hot right now. But the right-handed power hitter kind of type in that stadium, the more if you can find, that's why Shohei is so great, because he's a lefty with power and average. And strike 3 there by Thornton. He gets himself out of this inning with minimal damage done. Mariners maintain the lead 3-1. I would probably look to do that, but I do understand too. We gotta think about this as well, John. That if we look at the recent off seasons with money to spend, coming off we had like the lockout thing or the strike, whatever it was there with the players a couple of years ago, and this last off season, there's not really been a lot of hitters available on the market. So we might have to make with what we can do. Do with what we can, and that's all you can do, I suppose. So I would double back to him, but it wouldn't be at the forefront of what I'd want to do. Ethan, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Ethan says, I hate how I can't watch the Huskies on a local channel in Seattle. Well, you ever wonder why the Pac-12 is falling apart right now? Why it's failing? While they're all going to the Big Ten. Look no further than the commissioner's decision to create his own television network. And, it's just a dumb decision on so many levels. And he killed the conference with it. And it wasn't just that, but that certainly put the final nail into the coffin. Drunk says, Bryan Woo hurt or pushed back. I didn't see whether it was hurt or just pushing him back. But my worry would be at the forefront hurt, because he has already kind of had to get through an injury once here this season so far. It's rough. Mariners came in this year, and Marco Gonzalez and Robbie Ray, and you had Woo and Miller and Hancock down the bottom side, and you're thinking we've got at least enough bodies here. We're gonna have guys that'll be able to stay. We'll be able to keep our 5-man rotation straight. And no. Sometimes it's that way. Pitchers are tough. This is also why pitchers, you want to wait as long as possible to actually pay them. I know they don't like that, but this is where you just don't want to be paying them when you have club control years, like we've done with Julio, where you buy out a pitcher's club control years in order to get the cheaper rate on him. In my opinion, such a dodgy position like that, I'd rather put the money to hitters. John says they skipped Woo, his start for rest. Okay, well, that's smart of them then. Probably just trying to be careful with the young kid. We are deep into the season now. It's a lot of baseball played. All right, O'Keefe is up to the plate here for the Mariners. First pitch swinging, and he's going to send this out into foul territory over to the third base side. Paredes is easily up with it. John says Canzone, I think you meant isn't a good fielder. Kelnick will be a big upgrade. He really will, John. And I always do with this team think a little bit about defense in a lot of the stuff we do, because it is so important in that stadium we play to have guys that in outfield can patrol, cover a lot of ground, who ideally would have at least a decent arm as well. But if you have too many positions in that stadium with guys that you can't trust the fielding aspect of it, especially outfield, where a lot of hits will get down for hitters, where guys don't get credited as much for poor fielding, or because they don't have the range, or they don't have a good feel for how to play it out there. Kelnick actually gives you a pretty good outfielder. And Crawford puts a big swing on this pitch, but he gets a little bit underneath it, knocks it out to center field. That will be 2 down. Ethan says, yeah, so dumb, no wonder. Yeah, it is no wonder. You'd want to put a product like that on television. It's like football, Football always has even if a game is on over here, you're always going to have some kind of local channel usually can access it on if you live locally. You don't want to shut your audience off from the product, and that's what they did. Julio Rodriguez puts a whale of a swing into this one. That ball is going to go off the top of the stadium. Oh my goodness. Julio Rodriguez put this up at the into the top of the stadium, and they're giving him a home run. You better. That thing might have left the whole damn stadium if there wasn't a dome on top of it. Incredible. He hit one of the bars on the top of the roof. Just crushed it. Julio! I want to see the ball flight on this one, man. I want to see some ball flight. Oh, he's incredible. Bro, he had to hit that thing. They got to have a camera tracker for this. Come on. One of the most epic home runs I've ever seen. I can't see the ball. Come on, cameraman. There's 4 cameramen on this. No one got a shot of the ball in flight on that? I'm trying to think how the physics worked on that one. Did he hit it going up or coming down? Up to plate here, 0-1 count. Holy mackerel. Yeah, holy shit is right. Like, whoa. They showed the shot of how high up off the ground those arches are on the stadium, up on the roof. It's quite a bit up there. If you're talking about a home run stroke, I've seen there be problems in the stadium with guys hitting balls that go up and they go up high and they're like foul hit, or they're hitting a weird, they go up high, but they don't go far. That one got up high and it went far. Imagine they call it an out. Oh my God, Nitro. That would make me legit angry. Whoever said the drunk, the stadium does suck though. Let's also call this what it is. Like, really? Like Jerry with his stupid ass screen that he has above that the punters always hit. Oh, nice job by T.O. staying alive there. Inside out swing. Fouled it off. Louis says this is all without Ray, our best pitcher. I don't know if Ray's probably our best pitcher. I think he's probably like, shoot, he might be your 4th best pitcher as it stands right now. I think Gilbert, Kirby, Castillo, maybe Miller right now is even better than him. Good rotation, though. What are you going to do? So Julio gets Mariners back up there as Tio's going to fly out here. And that'll take us into the bottom of the second with the Mariners 4-1, trying to help out their bullpen today. And they're doing so far, which is good to see. Very good to see. Let's go take a look at some of the other scores going along the league here so far. We got the Blue Jays 3-1 over the Royals in the bottom of the 6th. It also helps for the Blue Jays getting hot when they're going to play the Royals. That team is not good. We got Astros and Padres at 4. And the Rangers and Athletics at 4. So you really, 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 really want to see the Mariners get the win here today, is to try to stay pace. As Houston does have Javier going on the hill for them. Rangers got Evaldi. I need to get this one today. Might just, if you guys are interested in some of the scores here from the early games. Notre Dame up 24-7 out there. Clemson beating the pants off Charleston Southern. Didn't even know that school existed. Michigan up 14-0 on UNLV. Texas A&M up 10-7 on the Hurricanes. We got Tulsa and Washington too. on the Pac-12 network, on the dying Pac-12 network, on the 6-subscriber Pac-12 network, bringing you the greatest content and killing conferences one season at a time. Imagine if they called it a ground rule double. I think I'd be just as angry if they call it a ground rule double as if they call it an out. It would all seem like a injustice. Dewey Eli, Kirby doesn't seem tough. Think he will be a good trade candidate next season? No. I think he's looked at times like maybe the best. There's some moments here, and he's behind Kirby. He's behind Logan Gilbert kind of by a year, right? And he didn't come up at the same time he came up. I think that when I look at Logan Gilbert, when I look at George Kirby, I see a guy that very unique pitcher, young pitcher. You're going to have for a lot of cheap club controlled years. I'm not giving that up unless there's really an insane bat that we're going to go out there and go get. I think that this year has been an unusual year, and one that I don't think gets talked a lot about with pitchers in thinking about that 100 pitch mark in a little bit of a different fashion than ever before. And what I mean by that, and strike three, nice, boy, it's been a gnarly pitch there as he swung at a pitch 9 inches out of the zone there outside. Let's remember this. We've got a pitch clock this year. And as in a pitch clock comes into play, this has the pitchers having to now get through that 100 pitch count way faster than ever before. There's not that time between pitches to kind of, all right, let me get my breath, stretch myself a little bit. It's pump, ball, pump, ball, pump, ball. And that's going to tire you out quicker as a pitcher on the hill. So when you do get to the 100 pitch mark, now in this day and age and this year versus it being a couple years ago where hitters were taking 25 minutes in between pitches to rearrange their gloves. When ball's hit up into the air to Crawford, he's going to be right underneath it here, a little pop fly, and that'll be out number 2. I think that's going to tire these guys out a little bit more further. And as a pitcher, you are very well aware of when you have your arm working at its best, when you're able to throw your best. And when you start to get fatigued in a game, you can feel when the pitches is coming out of your hands with not as much snap or movement or velocity or spin rate on your ball. You can tell as a pitcher. I mean, you get a feel for this type of stuff. And I'm sure he was at a point where he was probably feeling that. And so then it's on the manager to kind of save out the pitcher there and go, I know you've given us a great game. You've done your job. Let me get somebody else in here. And this is where we come back to it's not good for Gilbert to say, I didn't think I should have been out there, however he put it. That's not good for him to say, and he's apologized for that, and it'll be a learning moment. But when we're going to go ahead and pull back on the layer on that, the thread on that, you go back to that being more of a manager problem than that being a George Kirby problem. Keep calling him Logan Gilbert, too. I'm sorry, guys. Nice pitch here. 1-2 by Thornton. Hit the outside corner there very nicely on Pinto, the 8th hole hitter. So I think he's going to be just fine. He's been tremendous for us as a young guy entering the scene here. I got no real worries with him in the long term. And again, he's really cheap. It's hard to find pitching. It's hard to find really good starting pitching, and to have cheap starting pitching that you have good. We have at least 2-3 more years of club control where we don't have to necessarily pay him. And let's also consider with this, though it might look like on the surface of this going into next year, we have a tremendous amount of pitching depth. 2-2 pitch here, foul back. Let's also remember that we had a lot of that great amount of pitching depth this season, didn't we? And yet we find ourselves here in this very game with a bullpen by committee. So while there is an inclination here to go out there in the open market and move some of this pitching talent to go get a hitter or two, it's kind of also shown that we need to kind of keep this rotation pretty deep because we're going to need to probably call upon that depth over the course of the year. Thornton with a very strange follow through. Sees him kind of spinning in circles after the pitch. He's got a 3-2 count here, 2 down. Bottom of the second inning. Mariners up 4-1 The Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Threw fastball right down the heart of the plate and blew it by him. Thornton pumped up. I'm pumped up. His glasses are pumped up. You know why? Because he's got fog on him. Why? Because he's pumped up. William Leonard says, what the hell happened with that Julio home run? William, Julio had his natural moment, is what I'm going to call it. And if you guys haven't seen it, there's a moment in the natural with Robert Redford where he hits a baseball and he hits it so hard that he knocks the whole cover off the ball. And he hits it then so hard that the ball then begins to unwind and untrail like a thread being pulled from a sweater as it launches up into the sky. And then it just basically dematerializes over the course of that span because it just becomes one long thread. He hit it so far, so deep, so high. Really what happened was he hit a ball just up into the rafters. They've got that weird roof of their stadium where it is, they've got these girdings that are coming down. And it was weird because he hit it in a way that, as I was saying earlier on this in that stadium, usually when you see the girdings get hit, it's on a pop fly straight up into the air. He was hitting one that looked like a home run off the bat. It looked like an epic shot off the bat. And he was able to hit the girdings, which was pretty incredible about it. So I certainly think that it's maybe one of the more incredible Julio home runs we've ever kind of seen, William. And what's sad is they haven't shown us, I guess they don't have an angle on it. It would have been cool if the telecast actually had a shot of the ball in flight, seeing what it hit off of, how far he actually did end up, launching that ball to. And maybe at some point they'll do like a little pointer thing with a still shot or something. But it looked incredible. It wasn't one of those like he hits it as a seed and it's launched like a laser beam. It was one of those just like it needed some Beethoven music behind it. Gavin says 42-degree launch angle on that Julio bomb. Good Lord. It was insane. D-boy in the house. What's up, D? Hope you're doing well, man. Drunk says, what's up with Devin Witherspoon? He might play, according to Pete. Carol, what does that mean? I don't know. I imagine if they did play him Drunk, it's going to be just a handful of snaps because he didn't get any preseason play. So it's like you're kind of getting a preseason game here with the Rams a bit. And when they're like, we'll work him in for a few snaps here or there if he does play. I would imagine, though, that they would be very careful with him considering what's the recent track record with that hamstring. And I wouldn't be coming into this particular game against the Rams going, well, you know what the difference between us winning and losing this game is going to be Devin Witherspoon. If anything, the Lions showed you on Thursday night, you're going to need Devin for the Lions game, to my eyes. So probably to prep him and get him ready for next week. But if he played more than 10 snaps, I would be shocked drunk. William said Kirby had a typical 22-year-old emotion after a tired outing. Yeah, good way of putting it, William. I think that's a marvelous way of putting it. And we put a lot on the back of these starting pitchers this year. Gilbert, Castillo, Kirby with it. The offense has kind of come and gone at times, and then the bullpen has come and gone at times. But it's been the starting pitching that has been there every bit of the way and been expected to be there every bit of the way. And maybe they're a little bit frustrated carrying, the majority of that load going on 2 years now. And that shows itself with a little bit of youthful, slight immaturity. I don't knock him for it at all, William. And when it comes to these kids still at 22, like you say, you got to give them, I think, a little bit of room for growth and maturity. Eugenio checked his swing on 3-2, and then to sell the check, he just spun away from the first base umpire who's being asked to rule on the call, spins away from him and starts taking off his gear to go walk towards first base. That was very subtle. That's a vet move there by Eugenio. All right, here comes up Canzone now. He is 0 for 0 with a walk to begin things. Actually got a ribby with it because the bases were loaded at the time. Canzone hitting .231, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. Big Country in the house. How you doing, man? Sour Vanilla says, "What's up, guys? Tough night for Kirby last night. Thornton is doing well so far. He's looking okay. He's looking pretty good. He's working fast, staying on top of these guys. This ball is going to be on the ground. Looks like a double play ball, and it will be. So that will be out number 2 here. Ty France come up to the plate, had a big single in the first inning. Lowe didn't make the greatest of throws there to second base, but the second baseman was able to collect. Ty France. Ball bounced up at the plate. 1-0. Big Country, some good watching football. You watching the Michigan game, man? Les Michigan. Hard ball. France fouls this one back. Savali looks like he's starting to kind of dig in here a little bit now. He had the opening walk there against Eugenio, but that's why you want to get those runs in on them early with these kind of pitchers that are good like this, is if they take a little bit to settle down, then get them a little bit early, and that might be enough to get the job done. France bounces this ball to short, and he'll throw it out over there to first base for out number 3. So a walk, double play ball, 3 men down, no runs, no hits. Mariners maintain the lead 4-1. 4-1. And Sour Vanilla, you know, those kind of nights for Kirby are going to happen in the course of a career like that, you know. In my opinion, it's a tough night, but he's had a tremendous season. And I do think this kid's going to be a big part of our rotation going forward. Be right back here, folks. Bear with me if you could for just a moment. We're back. Like we never left. Never left. All right, Mariners going to Weaver here. Bullpen by committee continues on. Thornton goes out, gives you 2 innings of work. 1 run, not earned. 3 strikeouts, looking good. Weaver will step out onto the mound here and see if he can continue this. Quickly, he's got a 0-2 count against Walls, the 9-hole hitter for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Big Country says I need a day off from the M's. I figured today would be an L, so I decided to watch football instead. Hey, there's some good college action going on out there today, Big Country. I'm going to check some out after the game today. Be kind of chilling back this evening a bit. I got a little teamy video up earlier on the Hawks Nest, so kind of got the work done over there. This ball is going to be hit over in foul territory, and France is up with it. I was figuring I'd check out a little bit, some of the highlights, and look at a little bit of late live action going on. But this has been a team it's been a fun year. The team still feels like it's taken some steps forward. It's got every chance this year to make a tremendous amount of noise. But there has been also a lot of maddening points to it too, right, Big Country? I think which is built a little bit in your comment there, which is there's just some points of that drive you a little mad at times. But not negative on, just a little bit, just going to be frustrating. Can wear you out emotionally. Swing and a miss. Weaver coming out, getting strikes here. First 2 hitters. Yeah, Sour Vanilla, I have an outlook of similar with Kirby in the future as well. I think he's got that kind of upside. 95-mile-an-hour fastball hit foul there. This low kid will swing at anything, man. He is not shy. 0-2 pitch. Big leg kick there by Weaver. Ball will be outside 1-2. Weaver threw that one like 6 inches off. He's like, okay, you're not going to be able to hit this one now if you swing. If you're going to swing at everything. Ball 2, 2-2. Bottom of the 3rd here. Mariners up 4-1, 1 out. Ball. Big Country says the pitching is really gassed right now. The rotation has been very uncharacteristic the last 10 days. Yeah, the idea too, Big Country, you knew this with how the manager wanted to roll this when you had Hancock rolling up, where they were going to do the 6-man rotation. And I think that was in part to kind of protect against some of that. Swing and a miss on a real gnarly slider there. That thing ended up at his feet, and he swung at it. Strike 3 there for Weaver. Whew, that had some rotation on it. But I see it the same way, and this is the fallout from that, not being able to call upon that. You're down Robbie Ray, you're down Marco Gonzalez. You know, you haven't been able to stay healthy with your starting pitching this year, and this is where I can't fault the Mariners for it. It ain't anybody's fault. They built as much of depth, at least, and especially being good on the front side, as anybody in baseball. It's a long season though. Stuff like this can kind of happen. We'll see how they can kind of navigate it, Big Country. It does, I think, feel a little bit like this team might have a bit of the makings of maybe kind of running out of gas again, like you did last year, where you had guys with injuries. Crawford had his back thing going. France was fighting through stuff. I don't know if Mitch Haniger was ever really 100% that year. You had Cal Raleigh with the fractured finger. You ran out of steam at the end of the season there with the hitters. And this year, maybe it's going to be more of with the pitchers, with how they've been beset as much as they have been by injuries. O'Keefe tried to do a good job of framing there, but couldn't get the call. 2-2 pitch here. Outside, 3-2. Arizorina. 3-2 pitch. The ball is going to be hit up into center field. Julio will walk underneath it. And he will collect it in for out number 3. There we go. So the bullpen by committee is working today so far. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. Texas A&M just handling Miami. Well, Tyler Van Dyke's playing pretty good. That's good to see. Neon Dion taking down Nebraska out there at Colorado, 2-0 now. Utah, 2013 over Baylor. Penn State, 63-7 over Delaware. Boy, a lot of these cupcake opponents for these big-time programs. Cupcakes, I tell you. Libra Dragon says it's bullpen day. So far, so good. It is. It's National Bullpen Day. Today, we hail those heroes of lesser name and lesser calling. Those men of mighty mustaches and goatees down to their chin, down to their neck. Here's to you. Here's to you, the crafty lefty. When we need that left-handed hitter, power hitter out, just the right time of the game, you're our guy. All right, Mariners going to start the top of the 4th inning off with Mr. Ford up to the dish. Mike Ford 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first. Swung at ball 4, actually. Ford gets on this and lifts it on up into left field. Or an easy play, out number 1. Gary Douglas, bullpen day, is that a normal thing or something new? It was signed in by Congress. No, I'm kidding. It is as Sour Vanilla says below, Gary. You had the thought process here with some of the innings and inning number of pitches that have been logged by some of the staff that you were going to attempt to get a 6-man rotation working in with Graham Hancock. Graham Hancock. I said that wrong. So that's a different Hancock. With Emerson Hancock. With Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. And so he went down to an injury, and that means that then we're going to go back to the 5-man rotation. I think they would like to get the extra, day of rest kind of built in here as they can. And as you can expand the rosters now, this does open this up a little bit more to being able to do this as we get into September, and you can call upon a couple of those extra arms. It's not it's an unusual thing in baseball, Gary, but it certainly is done here and there. It's not a completely lack of better word, left field kind of strategy. 2-2 pitch here. This ball is going to hit on the ground. Looks like they're having camera problems here. Looks like it's a base hit. Sorry, the camera cut out weirdly in the telecast there. I think they're having camera problems today. Couldn't track Julio's home run. Couldn't show the base hit there. But a little base hit right up the middle there by Rojas with one man down now. O'Keefe up to the plate. Boy, this lineup is free swinging. These guys do not like to take pitches. One count. Savale goes over to first. Keep Rojas close. Strike. Rojas steals the base. Good throw, might have got him. Catcher doesn't have quite as much steam on that arm as other catchers in the league. He actually put a good throw in there. It was just a bad tag. I gotta take that back. That was a seed. Wow. Okay. Yeah, he's the guy caught it at second. Runners in front of him sliding towards him still. There's a moment for him to lay the tag down. And he lifts his glove up after catching it like he's opening the door for the guy to come in, the robber to come inside, and then closes the door back up after the robber's gone through. Kind of strange. 1-2 count. That ball is going to be hit sky high up in the center field. It will be up with it. That will be out number 2. Big Country says Tampa really needs a new ballpark. It's garbage. It is garbage, and it's always been garbage. Imagine, too, they wanted our Mariners back in the 90s if they had taken them to Tampa Bay as Jeff Smillian had wanted. They would have been playing in this ballpark. The Tampa Bay Mariners. J.P. Crawford up the dish. He's got a walk, and he flew out in his last at bat. Got a runner at second. 2 men down. Mariners up 4-1. Savale looking a little bit sharper here as he's gone long in this game. He is starting to stack up a little bit of the pitch count here through 4 innings. That's now 72 for him. Mariners wouldn't mind maybe getting into this bullpen nice and early today if they can pull it off. I like about Crawford. He will take pitches. 1-1. That's why it's also just a little more ideal for him being in the leadoff role than Julio. Strike. 1-2. Megan in the house. What's up, Megan? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Bounced over to second base. Crawford will get on over there, but he will be thrown out. So 3 men down, 1 base hit, no runs. Mariners maintain a 4-1 lead, and the Rays will send up the 3, 4, 5 hitters next inning. But yeah, Big Country, Tampa Bay does need a new ballpark. It's kind of weird. There's places that should certainly have domes, and there's places where it's like, I mean, again, maybe it's just so hot and humid there, they're thinking, but it should be outside, shouldn't it? I mean, maybe Florida's just that bad in the summertime, you don't want to do that, but the weather is that beautiful and hot, and you'd think that it would be. I don't know. Megan says, how's your back be? Last night was pretty tough. I haven't had a good night of rest in probably like 3 nights. It's not happy. It's getting a little bit better, I think. But I'm probably going to have to go see somebody this week if it doesn't start to like chill out a little bit. So I'm walking like a 75-year-old man right now. It's very sad. It's very sad. I'm not a fan. Yeah, Megan, I didn't get much sleep last night either. It's been that straight. Just as I get to sleep, the back starts going. And then it's this weird thing too, where it's such a bad spot right now where when I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, okay, I gotta just get up and try to stretch it a little bit, maybe just stand up. And then I literally have this moment where I can't get up out of the bed. Like it's hurting so bad, like I can't even, if I go to lift myself, the back's like, nope, you're not going there. Nope. Mm-mm. Just sit there for a while. Okay. I don't know. Hope it gets better. I didn't even do anything crazy, but it's swollen and stuff, so I don't know. I think I just threw it out. Did something. Yeah, I know. My days of playing ball are gonna probably come to an end sooner than later. I won't be doing a lot of it if this is what I have to pay the price of to play it. I'll tell you that. So, but usually I don't have an issue with my back like this. This is kind of a one-off. I just got to do a better job of stretching. You know, I just went out there and started rolling. I didn't go too hard, but I didn't real stretch, and that's what I need to do. 1-0 count here. Weaver's going to come back out for the Mariners to start out the bottom of the fourth inning here. I've never thrown my back out, so I don't know what that's like, but I've been that kind of pain with other parts of my body. I've never done it either myself. This is unusual for me. I've had the upper part of my back get thrown out before, but not the lower part like this. This is definitely a new experience. I'm going to try to go on a short walk today just to try to stretch the legs out a bit. 3-1 count here for Weaver on the opening batter of the inning. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Weaver there. Nice little pitch there. Breaking ball, got it on his hands, and Julio will come in from center field for the first out in the inning. I tried the pillow and cushion, and I was in excruciating pain. I tried. It did not work. And then it took me 5 minutes to get the pillow out from under my back. It was very sad. Oh. I think it's getting a little bit better, but at night especially, it's brutal. First pitch strike here by Weaver. Mariner pitchers today doing a good job of getting ahead in counts. Low, ball one. Thanks, Megan. Tell Ollie I said hey. I am a wrecked old man. Getting older by the day. Ah. Ooh. Got it right in on the hands there. And it hit off the bat and the hand, I guess. That was all hand. Can they review this? Yow. How to break your hand. You want any evidence that these pitchers just throw incredible stuff with movement, as you see now so often, these hitters getting hit in the hand. And like that, where it's on the open hand, it's kind of on the right as the hand's opening up there. And it's because they think it might be a strike. And here's a pitch that gets up into their hands where it's not even close to the strike zone where it finishes. And like, well, that looks like a strike. That's what ends up causing it. And them not being able to actually be pulling out away from the pitch or trying to avoid getting hit. And it does look like they're going to give him first base here. Megan says, am I older or younger than you be? Because as much as I hate seeing you in pain, I'm kind of enjoying this. Sorry. Well, I don't like to hear that. You shouldn't enjoy me being in pain, Megan. It sucks. It's not fun. I'm not having a good time with it. Would you be laughing when it's determined I can no longer walk? All right, we got one out here. Runner on first with the hits batsman. Weaver's going to work it here to Rayleigh. Swing and a miss. Bottom of the zone there. 1-1. Megan, I never give you grief when you're in pain. You're crazy on that one. I always say that sucks. I hope you feel better. No. There's never been one moment I've laughed at you being in pain. That is false. As they say in the office, false. Pumpkin's not got a lot of sympathy for me either on that one. They just want to be pet and they're salmon. Looks like he's safe. They're saying we had a wild pitch there and then throw out. Looks like he's out. Got him. So 2 men down. Nice throw there by Keefe. O'Keefe. Mariners working well here. 2-2. Foul back. Oh, he swung. Good night, Charlie. What? That looked like a swing to me. Oh, he got away with one. Dumbass first base umpire. 3-2 count. We got robbed on that one. He definitely went through the zone. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning here. Mariners up 4-1. Looks like Paredes Day is potentially going to be done here at this point. Three-two count. 2 men down. Nobody on. Mariners up 4-1. We were trying to close out this 2nd inning of work for him. And this hit on a line right at Ty France, who collects it up for out number 3. And the Mariners maintain a 4-1 lead here through 4 innings, getting right through the heart of the order. Let's go. Nicely done by the Mariners. Get back. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Libra Dragon says, more Mariners ahoy. Mariners runs ahead. Nice part in the lineup indeed. They can make some noise here. Julio steps back up to the dish. Of course, hit himself a monster home run in his last at bat. First pitch swinging on this, hits it right to the shortstop, who's up with it and throws it over to first base for out number 1 here in the top of the 5th. Mariners up 4-1. Savali's definitely calmed down here after a rough opening. He's found his groove a bit. Teoscar Hernandez steps up to the plate. Strike 1. Strike 2 on a slider. Teoscar swung right through it. Teoscar hitting .270 with 25 home runs, 86 RBIs. Going to call for time here. Swing and a miss on another slider that he swung right through. 2 men down, third strike out of the game for Savali. Teoscar just wasn't getting a good read off of his hand with that slider, and he's got a good one. 2 men down. Eugenio Suarez steps up. First pitch swinging, knocking it foul down the line. Eugenio, 234, 19 home runs on the year. Eugenio gives this a ride out into left field, but right at the left fielder. Hard hit ball. Well struck. But he will make the catch. So Mariners go down in order here in the 5th. We'll move to the bottom of the 5th. 4-1. 4-1. Oh. Clemson just beating the pants off of Charleston Southern. UNLV's kind of 21-0. They're not hanging in there. University of Washington up 7-3 right now on Tulsa. Jalen McMillan with a 35-yard catch in that game. Boy, Utah just barely squeaked by Baylor. Utah's always got a couple of pros that they kick out to the next level. Jaquindon Jackson. Jaquindon. See if the Mariners are going to move here to another pitcher. If they roll with Weaver for another inning. Weaver's gone 2 innings with 1 strikeout, no runs. Thornton went 2 innings with 1 run, unearned, 3 strikeouts. So the Mariner bullpen has been doing their job today. Inarguably. Weaver indeed will come out here and quickly get no one count. Center fielder Siri for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Rays are starting to work through the bottom part of their lineup here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Siri checks, swings it, hits it right back to the pitcher. Oh, Weaver up with it, and he throws a dart over there to Ty France at first base. Out number 1. Check, swing. Quickly one away. You like seeing that. One ball, no strikes here. Jonathan Arianda. This is going to be a nice little base hit out in the center field. Yeah, Megan, Toronto did beat the Royals, so Toronto will stay pace here today with the Mariners or gaining some ground. Nice pitch there by Weaver, just good piece of hitting. Laid the bat on the ball there. Crawford having a little bit of a discussion with Weaver and the catcher here on this. We want to be aware of something. Maybe we should always be concerned about Toronto as a Mariner fan. They're very often, as we saw last year, in a position of competing kind of in the same place we are for this playoff positioning if we can't get the division. So it is concerning. I mean, they're beating the Royals. We're playing the Rays. You know, I don't think that they've been going through like a murderer's row of opponents recently. But they're a dangerous ball club. They got a good offense. 1-1 count here to Pinto, the 8-hitter. So it's not to be undersold on that part of it, but we just got to keep taking series and staying on top of playing good baseball. Can't let this thing start to slip away a little bit like it has just ever so slightly recently. And that ball's hit out into right field. Teoscar Hernandez has got an easy play over there to be made. So out number 2. Walls, the 9-hole hitter here for the Tampa Bay Rays, will step up to the dish. Weaver comes set. Excuse me. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch there. The bottom dropped out on it, right on the outside part of the corner. Runner gets his lead from first. Mariners, 2 outs. Weaver unwinds. This ball's going to get down, and it's going to allow the runner to get to second. Oh, he didn't even run to second. Poor base running by Arianda. I wonder if he saw O'Keefe throwing that runner out earlier, and he's like, I'm not going to have that done to me. Two men down here, 2-1 count. High, 3-1. Lock back in, kid. Don't give a freebie to the 9-hole hitter here. You got the lead. Work the zone. Don't put runners on to turn this lineup over here now. Come on. Weaver set. Finish your day. Low. Ball 4. Awful walk there. Awful walk by Weaver there. He got a little bit determined with trying to kind of work the zones a little bit too around the points. And O'Keefe comes out to talk to him, rightfully so. Walk back in here where you're at. Don't get all nibbled into this. You just walked it. You walked a guy hitting 209. The 9-hole hitter to turn back over on a good lineup. Don't lose the focus here. Come on, finish the day. You put a nice day together here. This is probably your last inning of pitching here. Brandon Lowe steps up to the dish now with a chance as the tying runner up at the plate. It really felt like he started to kind of toy with him like a cat rather than really just staying going after that hitter there. And this ball's peppered right down the line, and this is the price you then pay. See, that's why it's so bad now. That's going to be a double. This is going to score 1, score 2, and now you got a 4-3 game. This is where you don't want to get to low in the first place. So as a pitcher, you want to make the 9-hole hitter hurt you. And instead, Weaver got in there and got into a little bit of this. I'm going to try to pinpoint on my control a bit. And he started kind of trying to find little spots instead of staying in the right place. And then he comes back here and misses low and inside to a lefty. I always say with that, when you miss inside low on a lefty like that, you're usually going to get punished for it. And Weaver puts a really good day to bed on the back of that walk. It ain't that hit that I'd give a problem to, and he knows it. It's not that hit that you have the problem with. It's the walk. You can control that part. And missing again here, ball 1. Megan, can the M's beat the Toronto if we met? Yeah, absolutely. We beat them last year, for sure. I think we're better. We're better this year than we were last year, and I think I don't think they're better than they were last year right now at this point. So I think I'd put us as the favorite if we were to go head to head. 1-1 count here for Weaver now. Oh. Taking his time. Yeah, I don't know. He's just maybe kind of lost his feel a bit here this inning. Two one count. Dangerous situation, dangerous pitch here. Swing and a miss. And Arozarena knew that he was going to hit that in the same spot Julio hit it earlier with that swing. He's like, this pitcher's struggling to find his zone. He's going to groove one here for me. 2-2 count. Weaver comes set with his 52nd pitch of the game. Ball. Knuckle down, bud. Knuckle down. You can get a dub out of this game right now if you get this out. Weaver comes set. That ball's hit right on the line. Canzone comes up and makes a nice play on the run from the top of his toes to pick the ball up off the grass before it can hit it for an out. That looked like trouble off the bat, but Canzone able to track it all the way and make a nice play after redeeming himself a little bit for a tough little play earlier there. Yeah, Big Country, we had a sequence there where there was a runner on first, and then he gets up in the count on the 9-hole hitter who's hitting 209, and then starts trying to get a little bit too much, and I'm going to paint the edges, and rather than let me go after this guy, he's hitting 209. Put him on base on a walk, and then the next hitter hits a double. And you get 2 runs driven in. I'm a big believer in you do pitch differently when you have a lead, and a lead like that, and a lead like that when you're facing into the bottom of the lineup. Your outlook as a pitcher there, and it's really on the pitching coach, of course, and coach to make sure they're letting the and pitchers know this of, make this guy swing the bat and hurt us. Do not give them free passes and free abilities to hurt us. Make them actually have to do it the old fashioned way. And though they drove in the runs on the back of the old fashioned way, it's that bad walk that leads there to it. Bless you too, Megan. But Mariners still do have the lead here as we move into the top of the 6th inning. Canzone will be your leadoff hitter in this inning. This is not my shoulders acting up because it's karma for enjoying your pain too much. That's right. You can't revel in others' pain. Can't do that. I think I gotta go to the chiropractor. So I think I'm gonna have to do. So Jake Dykman is going to step on the hill here for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. 3.88 ERA on the year. Savali was able to keep this Mariner lineup from really pushing too much after an early little bit of an explosion. Oh, I'm sorry. Haggerty's up at the dish here first. He's going to swing and hit this up into the outfield. Right fielder's over with it. And he'll have it for out number 1. So bring up Ty France. France 1 for 2 in this game. 2-run single early on. Strike 1 here. Sounds good, Megan. 0-1 count. Swing, gonna miss. 0-2. He's gonna have to try to hold on here in this end. Ty France called time, I guess. Stepped out. Huskies have gone up 14-3 on the Tulsa Tomcats. Swing and a miss on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball there for France. That will be out number 2 here in the 6th. And Mike Ford will step up to the plate. He got his money worth. Took a nice little hack. Miami's overtaken Texas A&M. Mike Ford, check, swing, strike. Ford 0 for 2, hitting .228 on the year. Strike. He wasn't very hammy in that last at bat, Megan. He's more spammy. Less drip, more whip. 0-2 count. Ooh, Ford got himself a gift on that one. That looked like strike three at the bottom of the zone. See if he can do something with it. With this gift. That looked like a nice pitch to me. That looked pretty meaty to me. Swing and a miss. Mike Ford will go down. Mariners offense is slowed to a crawl here. They will maintain a one-run lead as we will now go into the bottom sixth inning. He's like an old can of Spam on that one. It's like I got to stand up with my bag. Weaver will continue to work as we start out this bottom of the sixth inning. Interesting decision here by Service to stay with Weaver. Gets an 0-1 count and a foul ball here from Lowe. Ball one. 1-1. Yeah, you got a strike there. Right on the edge of the zone. 1-2. Boy, what a nice piece of little hitting there, but Crawford is right there behind second base bag to make the catch. Low with a really gnarly kind of pitch there from Weaver. A lot of movement, inside-out swing. It's like when you're on a ping pong table and you hit the ball with a little bit of spin to it. It's a little bit like that. Not that he was trying to hit it with spin, but just impressive just to get the bat on the ball like he did. There's a lot of movement on that pitch. But that will be an out. Caught by Crawford, one down. High, ball one. Swing and a miss. Baseball and Beyond says, hi, Crow's Nest. How's your day been? I've been having a great day, my man. I hope you're having one as well. It's beautiful over here. We're having a sunshiny day. Mariners are up 4-3. Got football tomorrow. All is well. All is definitely well. Hope you're doing good out there, too. 2-1 count here from Mr. Weaver. Outside, ball 3. Or ball 2, sorry. Outside, yeah, that was ball 3. They didn't update our broadcast, having some struggles today. So that will be ball 4. Runner on. Weaver's control's been a bit dodgy here lately. Rivers is going to keep running with him. 62 pitches into this game for Weaver. Luke Raleigh up to the dish, 0 for 2, strikeout and a line out. Weaver trying to keep the base runner close over there at first. Swing and a miss. Nice piece of off speed there. Great little change. Bouncing ball to second. Up with it over to Crawford. Crawford back to first. He will be safe at first, but Mariners do get the lead runner there for 2 men down. Rojas made a nice play, ranging to his left, spun back around, got it over to Crawford. Ball wasn't hit really hard, so it was going to be hard to get the base runner who moves pretty well. Mariners made a good go of it there, but nonetheless, 2 men down now. Bottom of the 6th inning, Mariners up 4-3. Jose Siri up to the plate. Ball is bounced to Crawford. Kind of a tough little hop there for him. He picks it up and throws him out for number 3. Difficult little hop there for Crawford to have to pick it there because it wasn't coming on time for where he was running up to the ball. It sort of was going to take a weird short hop when he was going to pick it into his glove. And he was able to really seamlessly do it and then get out a really, really strong throw. Very impressive play there by Crawford, as he's been impressive throughout the year. Mariners get out of the inning. They will go now into the top of the 7th, 3 innings away from stealing away a victory today here against Chevalier and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Good to see. Mariners are going to send up Rojas, O'Keefe, and Crawford this inning. O'Keefe, I believe, is the name. I believe they call you O'Keefe. Beautiful. Beautiful. Because I must really love you at the 12s and the 12s be 3 a.m. start for me tomorrow's game. Yeah, there's gonna be some tough ones this year throughout the year for you on that one, Megan. We don't have a lot of primetime games, and then we got like 3 or 4 10 a.m. So that means you're a 11 at night start point then at that point. So there's gonna be some brutal times this year for you. Hopefully the Mariners reward you with a fun, or Seahawks reward you with a fun season with it. That'd be cool. How's your day going beyond baseball and beyond? Enjoying the baseball action today? Got a lot of sports going on today. This is one of those fun times of year where there's a lot of stuff happening. Oh, that was weird. The Tampa Bay just called in a bullpen guy. I won't say that, Megan, I promise. Definitely not. We got Bye for the Hobbit. How you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Ball as well. Tampa Bay did a weird thing where they waited till the start of the inning to decide that's when they're going to change, I guess. Pitchers there. They'll go to their third reliever in this game. Why did JP get pulled? Asked John. JP Crawford? JP Crawford's still in this game, I think. Yeah, he's still in this game. Which JP do you mean, John? Rojas hits this on the ground to the shortstop, who's up with it, throws it out to first. That will be out number 1. And it's good to see you in here, Bye Fur. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, we got JP's definitely still in the game. Definitely. So bring up O'Keefe. He's hitting a sweltering 059 on the season. At 276 OPS. Strike 1. Really missing Tom Moore's presence. Ooh. He puts a drive into this one, though. And that ball's gone. Maybe I should shut my mouth. I gotta shut my mouth. That's Mr. O'Keefe to you. O'Keefe just tucks this ball right on in, out to left. Exit velocity 101, so he did get a lot on it. Took this slider and just hooked it. Hooked it right out into left. Line drive. Mariners with a little bit of insurance. That was just a rake job right there. Timely home run. Mariners could definitely use the insurance here. This is just as he looks like he's about to go down to another strikeout. He pokes one out there. They might be reviewing this. This hit the yellow line. So, I mean, if it hits the yellow line, it's just automatically a double then? Like, I guess they're reviewing this. Okay, so help me decide something on the jerseys tomorrow. B. Gino, DK, Zorn, or larger than Y. Gino, because we want Gino to have a good year. It's good energy towards Gino. And remember, you got to save your Zorn jersey power for only moments of when we need it. Like, I'm not wearing my Largent jersey tomorrow. And they look like they're going to put him out on second base here instead of giving him the home run. Tough luck for the kid there. A nice home run would have been nice. This does turn over the lineup, though, for the Mariners. And Crawford will come back up now. And the Mariners do get a runner on second here with one out. John says, Keith. Oh, that's why he was dabbing him up there. Manager coming out to talk to the pitcher and let him know I want some pitching him. Yeah, Gino's a good one, Megan. Go with the Gino. Mariners have one man down. Top of the seventh inning, up 4-3. Runner on second here. I know Keefe's double out to left. J.P. Crawford up to the plate. Zorn Thanksgiving will be a one. I'll do the Largent on Thanksgiving probably too. That's a good one to do it on. Crawford steps in here now. Takes low, ball one. Crawford today 0 for 2. A walk in the first, a run. Wiggles that bat, getting ready. Inside, ball 2. Good eye. Julio Rodriguez looming on deck. Strike. 2-1. Oh, Crawford with a hard hit ball to second, line drive stroke. He catches it, flips it over to second before O'Keefe can even get back. Mariners go from having an insurance run to all three guys being out. Tough luck there. Good hard hit there by Crawford. Just sometimes they are where you hit them. Yeah, that sucks ass for Keefe. That's a good way of putting it, John. That's kind of a tough turn for our guy there. He's having a tough season, hitting 065. You know, you're not playing a lot. You're giving your team not a lot with the bat, and you get up there and you finally get a stroke on an 0-2 count. You poke it out to left, and of course it's got to bounce off the yellow wall and not go back into the seats, but come back into play, of course. Some years it just goes that way. Sometimes it's just not. This is not your time. Ooh, holy moly. Bucks Rays Bolts, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Bucks Rays Bolts says, hello there, just a sub. Well, thank you for subbing on up to the channel, Bucks Rays Bolts. I do really appreciate that quite a bit. We've got a fun little game going on here between our Mariners and Tampa Bay Devil Rays with a 4-3 game here. Weaver's going to continue to go out and work, and he's going to give up a quick double here in the bottom of the 7th inning. But thank you for that sub. I appreciate it. Rodney says, that looked like a home run, Brando. Yeah, I mean, it hit off the yellow thing, it looked like. I don't know if it hits off the yellow and comes back into play. I guess it's a double. But it sucks. Especially now that we got Arianda on second base here with nobody down. Interesting decision here by Service to continue to have Weaver working through this game here. He's thrown a lot of pitches. He's done kind of his job. I would have probably have thought to maybe go to somebody else here. He's at 68 pitches for the game. Hi. Bucks' first home run early and should have overturned. I don't know. I couldn't see. They didn't have the thing that sucked Bucks Ray fans is they didn't have a flight of the ball to show where it actually hit. I mean, I don't know. Weird stadium with the yellow thing here and then the girding over the top, and kind of makes it an unusual place. Weaver's 2-0 here. And gets a foul on that. 2-1. Service has got to be thinking about bringing in some help here in a one-run game, doesn't he? Roddy says, help me understand that one home run call. So there's a yellow wall point that's the last. This ball's hit up in the air, foul, 2-2. There's a yellow whatever the hell it is out there. And in major league stadiums, I think if it hits the yellow and comes back into play, I guess it's not a home run. So it's one of those gray areas I don't really understand. This didn't used to be a thing that we had to like determine between, well, does it hit the yellow line? It was like, if it went out, you know. But I guess they call that a ground rule double if it bounces back into play. If it went back into the seats after hitting off that, it's a home run. But if it bounces back out, it's ground rule double. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There's no sense to be made. Weaver's got himself here into a 3-2 count. He rubs up on the baseball, licks his fingers, licks them again, looks into the dish. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Brilliant 95-mile-an-hour fastball out on the outer edge of the plate. Wonderful pitch by there, Weaver, when he needed it. Strikeout. Wow. There we go. One man down now with the runner on second. Service is going to keep rolling with them. Interesting. Rodney says, I mean, if it hits the foul pole, it's fair and a home run. I know. That's why I said I can tell you what I think it is, their reasoning behind it, but I ain't going to say, Rodney, it makes sense to me or I agree with it. I don't quite get it. This ball is going to be laced out into center field and we're going to have a 4-4 game. Why don't you go to Greg? Maybe somebody in the chat can let me know on this one. Why don't you go to your lefty there with Greg Spire? Why do you stay with the righty matchup on that one? We talked about this earlier with Service. He's got a very interesting way of managing the bullpen. I mean, I would not have trotted out Weaver for another inning. Service again with the management of the bullpen. What are you doing, dude? Oh, now you're going to take him out. Yeah, great timing. Jeez. Kid had already gone through 4 innings of work and relief, pitched really well for the most part through that time, but looked like he was already starting to show signs of failing in the previous inning when he had given up a couple of runs. And then you go, from Service's standpoint, he saw that and said, okay, let me send him out there another inning. Ick. All I got to say to that one is ick. Get some water. I'll be right back. It is a good game so far, Bucks Rays. And you guys got a really good team, man. Good team. So Scott Service is going to be out. Greg Spire now to face a righty. I don't know what Scott's doing with the bullpen. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy above. He's going to bring on the lefty-righty matchup here. Could have gone to the lefty-lefty on the last at bat when you really needed it. But okay. Ball 1, 1-1. Leon working out there in the bullpen. It's going to be a fun race down to the wire here, Bucks Rays Bolts, on this this playoff race between all these teams. A lot of good teams out in the Major American League vying for those last couple spots. 1-1. Strike. 1-2. Big Country, did Scott mess up? I mean, maybe I'm just being hard on him here, Big Country, but to me, you've got the runner on second, and Weaver's worked through a 4 1/3 inning at that point. You've got a lefty matchup up at the plate. The previous time he faced the guy, he walked him. Obviously didn't feel very comfortable with that guy up there based on the last time he worked to him. So you bring Greg Spire out now in this situation here. Why not bring a lefty-lefty matchup of Greg up on the previous at-bat? Just from a tactical point, I don't understand. As I said earlier in this game with Scott a little bit, he's got a very differing way of managing the bullpen day-to-day, game-to-game, week-to-week. And it's not always really clear of what he's doing. Because now he brings out Greg Spire, the lefty, here for a lefty-righty matchup. Steele says, for a second, I thought you had a Dallas shirt on. Oh, this ball's blistered out into the alleyway for a double. Who could have seen this coming? Runner's going to round around third base and come home for a 5-4 game here for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Wow, Scott. Just wild. The whole purpose of Greg Spire on this team is to have lefty matchups, not to put him up against... Yeah, Big Country, this ain't a game you're losing because you didn't have the right starting pitching in here. This is a game you're losing because your manager's mismanaging this bullpen right now. I like Scott a lot. He brings a lot to the table as a manager, but I mean, I've watched a lot of games here over the last couple of years where I'm continually shaking my head going, what is he doing? Steele says there's always next year, guys, because that's what it's looking like. Sadly, maybe so. It looks like maybe it's just going to start to run out of gas here just a little bit near and down the end. Not over yet here. One count for Spear. 0-2 count. Wow. You got a good call on the first pitch. This ball is batted up to second. Up with it. Over to first. Out number 3. But the damage is done. 2 runs in. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays will take a 5-4 lead. Five of four. Rodney says, I'm beginning to think that Scott is not the right man for the job. The things he does says we need a change. And this ball's bounced up to second base by Julio, thrown out at first for out number 1. I really do try to fight against that as well with this type of situation for a couple of reasons. I always want to be hesitant in baseball when it comes to, looking at different managers or considering other options, because managers aren't, I think, as necessarily effective or have as much effect as other things. And if you have a guy that has shown he can create, create conditions for good chemistry within the locker room, and he's done that. And you do look at the development of some of these young players that certainly have been aided, I think, by Teoscar Hernandez. Hits a bullet over to shortstop on a bounce. He's up with it and throws him out at first for out number 2. And so you have these things within what Scott does that are really well done, I think. And I think he, as far as position players goes and whatnot there, I think his decision-making is smart with that. And he does a good job of keeping guys relatively fresh, managing workloads, all of that type of stuff. I do like his approach in that angle of things. But this hole that does appear to be in his game is like a home run hitter with a double clutch stroke. It's a pretty big hole. It goes from up to there. And there's a lot more building kind of evidence for it. I don't think it's in itself for me to say he needs to go or something with this, but and again, I gotta give him credit too, because the Mariners, for the most part of the last couple of years, have had one of the better bullpens in all of baseball. So it's, his management's got to be giving credit within that. That's where I don't want to get quite to that point, but I completely get the thinking there. And this ball's hit on the ground to third base, and this is going to be an error. Eugenio will get over to first base with 2 men down. Steele says, I've been watching you since 2020, and it's felt like a decade to me I've been watching. How long does it feel like you've been doing this for? I think a decade sounds right. I think that we're only really, truly at like 4 years in total of doing this. I think it was like 2019 I started. So it has been actually really a relatively short time. But yeah, you're right, man. It does feel like it's felt like I've definitely been at this for 10 years. It's a good way of putting it. In a good way, not in a bad way, but we've covered a lot of ground, we've covered a lot of territory. 0-1 count here to Hags, drip so hard Swaggerty. He swings through pitch number 2 for 0-2. That's a good way of putting it, though. Libra, any team is an extension of their management. I'm a Mariner fan from day one, 1977. Sucks, but yes. There are some history-making bits and stuff in it, right? I mean, sigh. This ball's hit foul. Way to stay alive there by Haggerty. It's been a tough go, Libra, as a Mariner fan. We can all kind of attest to that. The folks going way, way back in waiting and hoping and just like, come on, let's go. We really want this. We'll celebrate you. Let's make this happen. And they seem to get ever closer. They seem to be just kind of right on the precipice, yet not quite there as well a little bit. And it is a frustrating one, but the good news is right now I think this team is right there on the edge of it. They've got to get a couple things done to make this happen, but they do find themselves right there. Right there. William Leonard says, Scott's fine. Get rid of DePoto and the GM. Oh, William going hard at the GM. Hard. I think if the Mariners had a bad down year this year and really had not pulled it back like they had, there might be more of a banging of the drum for both or both of those, general manager, coach, or wherever. But I think with the success they had this year, I think they'll probably keep everybody involved when it's, it's all said and done. Haggerty has brought himself back in this count, and he swats it out to right field. A nice at bat by Drip so hard. Eugenio gets himself steaming over to third base and down 0-2, staying alive on 0-2 pitches to foul him off. Gets it back to 2-2 and then swats it out to right field for a base hit. Mariners making a little bit of noise here in the top of this 8th inning, down 4-5, and it looks like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays might make a change here at pitcher. Lever says, see, I went history because this I went history because this Mariner moment is Led Zeppelin without buoyancy, right? I think that's right. Not quite sure what you're putting down on that. And buoyancy too. I think I know what you mean with that. Rodney says, overall, though, Brandon, does the bad outweigh the good? Well, the bullpen mismanagement stuff from a coaching standpoint can rear its ugly head at the worst time. You can go through a season of success and then get them in the playoffs and then come to learn and find that that's just a big bad part of their game. I think I would probably lean into just keeping status quo at the moment. The bullpen has been one of the better ones in baseball in recent years. If we just look last 2 years, for instance. And yes, that's about performance, but that's also about management too. And so Scott, even in this thing that I'm giving him a hard time for, has got to be given some credit within that. As well, you built your culture here. It's established here. Who is the guy that we're going to go get? Who is the manager out there that's the better answer? And I don't know that there's necessarily one out there that would be a better answer. It's also hard to blame Scott for Dipoto not putting together a lineup that can properly generate runs, which has been kind of how this lineup has been for a really good part of this year, where it just has no ability to, it's not Scott, anything Scott can do. There's just no guys hitting for decent average. Everything's home run or nothing. So I'd lean to more, you got to go probably status quo. And it's a worrisome part of what's going on with Scott, but it's not something probably to sink him. Big Country says, IMO, Scott's a good manager compared to other managers in the league. I do question this late season managing, though. Yeah, I think you went much more succinct than I did in describing that, Big Country, but I think your succinct way of putting it is probably the more apropos way of putting it, where, it just comes down to that. I think there's bad managers in baseball and guys that you can see how they don't do it right. Obviously, this is, for the most part, he does so many other things right. It's worthwhile to, I think, kind of try to trust in that. Tampa Bay Devil Rays are going to trot out Robert Clouseau Stevenson. One of their bullpen arms here. Mariners got runners on the corner. That ball is going back to the dugout, and it's going to score Eugenio Suarez. Eugenio was a little bit momentarily unsure if he should try it, and the catcher could not find the pass ball or wild pitch. However, they're going to score it. Probably a wild pitch. Had a lot of spin. Catcher could not get his hands underneath it. Pitcher just overthrew it. Catcher's, where is it? And Eugenio finally getting down there. So the run, he will get in. Mariners are now tied here with the Rays. And a runner will also get up to second base. 1-0 count here to Ty France. He bats it off the instep of his foot. 1-1. Steele says Scott has issues like Pete. His positives outweigh the negatives to me. I think that's a good way of putting it. And that's, we're all in the line and I think the same alignment. I'm a little sore about it because I'm in the moment here with it, but it's all right. It's fine. France takes a pitch right on the inside part of the plate there for 1-2 now. We can just get a base knock here. Swing and a miss at a slider. Out number 3. France goes down Mariners tie the score, though. Let's go. Right, John? Let's go. I'll take it. Whatever means necessary, I'll take it. John says the reason we are losing this game is because Scott doesn't know how to handle our pitching staff. Yeah, I think that's proper. Again, these are all proper things to say with it. Good things he does on the other side of it, but proper there too. Libra says Scott does comfortably numb really well. What the Mariners need right now is not that. We are on the precipice. Not this game or never this game. Now this game or never this game. Yeah. Well, luckily they got back into it here a little bit. And if they didn't get the run there, it was going to be hard to see him come back in the top of the ninth, pulling it through if they had to get one. And he's a low key manager, man. He's far from the days of remembering back in the days with a guy fiery like Piniella. And I do kind of like my managers fiery a little bit. I got to be honest with you. I'm okay with the low key, keep it even keeled guys too, but I do like the red-faced. They're gonna tear into a few umpires over the course of the season. I'm always gonna have an affinity for those kind of coaches. I have become comfortably numb. Precipice is a good way of saying it, Libra. Mariners do need to be sure about. We're ready to go here this offseason. If they finally spend the money, they got to make sure they got everything right because they put all the other pieces in play at this point, and they're this close. This close. Still, the moves they made at the trade deadline was for next season, not this season, so I can't get mad if we don't make a run this playoffs. I can't either. I know that that's a place that is definitely a spot for a lot of Mariner fans that's frustrating to them that the Mariners didn't do more to actively pursue a bat. But in my opinion, the team hadn't really shown enough quite to that point. And, even if you had put a bat in the lineup here right now, the bat in the lineup would have nothing to do with some of the pitching starting to kind of, tire out here a little bit unless you think Paul Sewald would have been the big difference in this, recent kind of, drift from the bullpen a bit. I looked at it very much the similar way where it would have been great if the team had done more work before trade deadline to make you feel like they were ready to fully jump forward this season. But if you're going to make that kind of move, I think you need to be sure. I think it's like a jury of your peers. All in the jury need to vote yay. Topa's going to come out onto the hill here for the Mariners now in the bottom of the eighth inning. And he'll get an 0-1 strike on the inside lower part of the plate. Basabe. Not Wasabi, but Basabe up at the plate here. Takes ball, 1-1, 4-hole hitter for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. But I'm pretty much with you on that there, Steele. Panzer Soul. Ooh, balls hit foul. Says, hey, I put a pick'em bet on Suarez to get at least one base hit, and he just ran all the way around to home, but it didn't count. What the F happened? Suarez got on by an error. They might have effed you, Panzer, because you could have said it was going to be a hard play for the third baseman to make anyway. Swing and a miss. Nice 96 mile an hour fastball in the lower inner half of the strike zone there and gets him to swing and miss, one man down. So it could be that they just saw there was so much action on the Eugenio base hit bets that they're like, make it an error. But it was a called an error. And that's indeed why they're not giving you credit on that one. But if I was you and I had a little bit of money on them, I might be a little bit sore about it. Got to be honest with you on that one. It might be a little bit sore. It was a little bit on the line. Rodney, I look at it like this. How long of a rope are you going to give Scott and the crew? This is the prime and the window is open for long. They told us to be patient, either produce or leave town. Yeah, I mean, if they were to move on from Scott after this year and say we've got a better option that's just more going to be better for where we're going and for this time, I wouldn't be against that notion. And if Rodney, I'm not trying to be on the fence on this one. I just don't have a real strong feeling of I want to transition away or something like that. So, if I'll trust their decision making towards it with Scott. I do come back to with Scott on this of where, yeah, you did give him the rotation, you have given him the bullpen. But, the lineup and the way that this is constructed makes it very hard for coach to do anything about that. And that's been a big, to me, at the heart of the issues of this Mariner team over the last 2 years. And if we're going to make the assessment of Scott, I think we want to make it over the last couple of years. The biggest issue has been the hitting, the lack of ability to get guys who can just drive runs in, get on base, not strike out at an insane rate. And I don't know if I can really throw as much of that upon Scott outside of him mandating to these hitters that they just try to lean into a little bit more contact. And I have to think that kind of mandate would be coming down more from a front office standpoint as a general way they want the hitters to go about their business. We got 2 men down here. Topa's working through a nice little inning here, and he's quickly going to get 0-1 here to Jose City, who is 0 for 3, 221 on the year. Ooh, strike. He got a good call there on that one. Series pissed. He's had some tough calls today by the ump. He's also done some little body language stuff that's kind of on the line of showing up the ump, which is not going to help you on those borderline calls later on in the game. Topa comes set here now. 0-2. Batted foul. And so that's just the one place that makes it hard for me to come to quite that determination, Rodney, and my standpoint is I don't think you put that lineup together. I don't think any coach comes in here over the last couple of years and does better with this Mariner team in the way that they've assembled it. And that does then go back to Dipoto a bit. That's what makes this a little bit of a dirty case rather than a clear case of culpability, liability. Where does it really go with that? I'm unsure. Panzer, well, he's the last leg on a 4 parlay for $100 bet. Ooh. Strike 3. Right down the middle, and Jose Siri continues to have some interesting body language there for the ump. And he's asking about the pitch. Topa, nice inning of work there to lock down that lineup. That's actually a low-key, tough little inning of work there through the 4, 5, 6 hitters there. And he made short work of them. Good job. Very nicely done. Mariners going to have a chance here to maybe steal this one back away. They are going to be going through the bottom of their lineup here, so it's going to be Ford, Rojas, Ford, Dylan Moore, and O'Keefe. I'm guessing we're going to get Cal Raleigh. Maybe we can get a Cal bomb, a big dumper dinger. That wouldn't be too bad, would it? Panzer says, well, the last step of 4 parlay for $100, so if we go extra innings, you better get a base hit. Well, you never know, man. It's tied right now. We'll see. We'll have to see if they can prolong it and get one more chance of that one. You'll be mad when you see the replay, though, of it. I'm mad for you. It was on the line. You can call it an error. Some might say it's an error. Hit his glove, but he was rolling to his left. It was going to be a tough play. Even if he came up with the ball, it wasn't going to be an easy throw. But I think you're being fair, Rodney, on that. I think it's a fair way to go with it. John says they're not going to get rid of Scott. He is too connected to this team. I wish we would, though. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. Steele says, what's the chances on Ohtani to the Mariners after what he said yesterday? What did Ohtani say yesterday? Let me look up. What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? The country Cal should be a pinch hitter. Yeah, he should. He should come in for O'Keefe here in this inning. Colin Poach is on the mound here for Tampa Bay. He's been a mighty good reliever for them this year. Strike right there. 2.31 ERA for the Rays. I didn't see anything come up for what he had said. Ohtani on that steal. Let me know what he had said on that, though. 0-1 high, ball 1. Rodney says, Brandon, I've seen the Oakland A's do more with less. That's why I see no excuses for this team. like I say, it's fair in that approach of it. I can't quite get there myself on the full fed up phase with him on it. Ball hit up in the air, and that's going to be an out. But I'm also Caballero pinch hitting there for Rojas. Out number 1. Or for Ford, sorry. This will bring up Dylan Moore now. They're pinch hitting everybody. But I get it. I get where you're coming from on it. I get the frustration with it. He has had a really good team to work with here. But the lineup thing is the big thing for me that prevents it as much as anything. I just think that it's been a miserable lineup put through at times. One that doesn't have consistency with it, and you play in this stadium that's built on kind of manufacturing runs from time to time, and you have a lineup that's not able to manufacture runs. This ball's thrown bounce back to the dugout. But I get it. Libra says, "Go on, kids. Let's go Mariners. I'm a fossil children near death, and I cannot celebrate the loss of season tickets. First base side, row 18, across from the pitcher's mound. Days, those were." They'll reward you yet, man. There'll be a World Series yet here in the next couple of years for you. I promise you. We get you. Dylan, swing and a miss. 1-2. Steele says he said he's prioritizing a winning team over location. Well, that's I think if the Mariners have back-to-back seasons where they get into the playoffs, I think that they certainly can say that they're a winning team. So the ball's batted back. Nice job by Moore there to stay alive. One man down. Mariners tied with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5-5. Dylan Moore up the plate. Pinch hitting here for Josh Rojas. But I don't think that excludes necessarily swing and a miss. Is that a cutter? Looked like a cutter there. Cutter or a change. Swing right through it there was Dylan Moore. So number 3 and Cal Raleigh will indeed step up to the plate to pinch hit here. But you can make that claim to him, I think. You can say that that's something that we can offer you here. Can we offer it as much as the Dodgers with their current track record, or maybe some other team in the sport that has that? Maybe not, if he's looking to go that extreme of a degree to it. But I think that we at least hit the bare minimum standards on that steal. He's prioritizing a World Series. He said he's prioritizing a World Series team over location. That would be an odd way for him to phrase it. I'm guessing he said winning team, not World Series. Did he? Tell me if he said actually World Series. I'm going to one of the 2 World Series teams this year, or I'm only going to a team that's been in the World Series the last 3 years. I can't see him meaning it quite like that. I think we're players in it either way. I think we're in on this potentially if we're willing to throw the money at it. Strike 2 right down Main Street. Raleigh, I don't know, must have been looking for the breaking ball there. Quickly 1-2. Raleigh hits this on the button high, but right up into center field. He's underneath it. He'll make the catch. Out number 3. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Mariners still tied 5-5. But, if Ohtani doesn't want to come here, Steele, he's not going to want to come here. I don't think you can force the fit if it don't happen. I think you just make the strongest run you can at the guy. And you walk away from it saying, look, we offered him all the money. We offered him a great opportunity here. Pivot now to option 2. Pivot to option B, C. Pivot back to Teoscar. Go get some other guys out there. Make some trade, It doesn't have to be just Ohtani or nothing. I just want them to make a true, strong, hard run at Ohtani. And if you don't come away with it, but you've done that, then that's perfectly understandable at that point to me. I can get with that. I'm trying to find the quote for the record. We got open. He's going to go in with his open mind and wide open eyes. Man, there's a bad joke in there that I am not going to say. Ooh. Sean Lee, how you doing, man? It's good to see you in the house. Big Country, the pitcher was lefty. Yeah, Sour Vanilla. That's why Cal was on batting from the other side. Sean Lee, let's see what our pitching staff can do now to keep us in this game. Let's see if they can hold it on up here. It's like we're going to get Dominic Leone. That's on the hill, on the bump. Nope. Saucedo. Mariners have worked through from Thornton to Weaver to Spire to Topa to Saucedo. Tampa Bay's countered with Savale to Dykeman, Kelly, Stevenson, Posh, and how many they've thrown out there. So both these teams throwing everyone in the bullpen at it. All hands on deck. Let's see if Saucedo can hold this up here. He is going to get to face the bottom of the lineup here for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, 7, 8, 9. Ball's hit on the ground. Oof. France up with it and gets over and has to slide to the first base bag. Saucedo was really slow to cover there. Why isn't Saucedo getting over there on that play? He kind of forced Ty France to have to hurry it on up over there to have to dive to the bag. Your pitcher's supposed to cover that. By the way, that's a pitcher deal there. I think Saucedo slow rolled his way over there. It's like, oh, he's just going to walk that to the bag. One man down, though. Saucedo fires in a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, middle of the dish, strike one. Yeah, so Sour, you're going to want to always bat. If you got a switch hitter, he's always going to bat the opposite way of the pitcher he's facing. So if he's got a lefty, he'll go righty. If he's got a... And Eugenio is going to throw out Pinto there for out number 2. Nice play by Eugenio. But that's always why with switch hitters, the way they're always going to play it. Because you always have an advantage as a hitter going against the opposite side of pitcher. You're going against lefties to righties, righties to lefties. Taylor Wall steps up to the dish now. He had a big single in his last appearance. He's been just a problem point here in the bottom of the lineup here for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays today. A walk the previous time up before that. Megan, you have yourself a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Ball 2. Steele says, according to an industry source briefed on Ohtani's thinking, although he prefers the West Coast, the potential to win a championship will be given more weight than geography. That's the quote. Strike. Yeah, I mean, Steele, I think that there's certainly maybe an element of truth in that, but this isn't coming from the horse's mouth. First, I'll say that. In this day and age, I think the thing that we've learned, it doesn't matter on what we're talking about. When we come to sources, an industry source, unnamed source, anonymous source, I give all of that stuff a very, very, very small grain of salt when I hear strike. Nice pitch there. Walls thought he got another walk there, 3-2. Another situation where you say, okay, you've worked a great. That looked like ball 4 too. She just, like we've talked about a couple innings ago, don't make this guy swing the bat here. Don't walk the 9-hole hitter for the second time, and that's just what they do. What, are they scared of this guy? He's a shortstop. He looks about $170. What are they freaked out about? Throw a strike. Now you're going to turn it back over to the top of the lineup. These are things you can control as a pitcher. And it's just, oh Lordy. So I guess I would say just the grain of salt thing, I take it with a grain on that. Here's the other part of it too. Let's remember this, is that I'm guessing he's going to want to try to make the maximum amount of money. And if the going understanding out there is that he is going to choose to want to be more West Coast-ish, and that's going to just naturally remove half the market, that's going to remove half of what could be a bidding war for his services. And so he's going to want to make sure everyone's included in the trying for the bidding, even if maybe what I'm saying is he could very well be trying to get everyone included in the bidding, even if he doesn't necessarily intend to go to those places. The ball fouled off. We could be saying it true. It could be coming from him. It could not be. At the end of the day, none of this would preclude me from, making my run at him. Saucedo's got a 1-2 count now here. Chance to get out of this inning without any trouble unscathed. He comes set. Ball's batted off the end of the bat. Home run. Game over. Oh, low. Yeah. Well, Mariners absolutely earned this loss. You had some pitchers who came in and gave you some gutty performances today. And yet then you also had some pitchers that, shot themselves in the foot and created their own problems. You have a 9-hole hitter in this lineup hitting .212. And you made it feel like he was the biggest problem in this lineup for your pitchers in the way that they attacked and went after him in this game. And, if you're going to groove a pitch like Saucedo's going to groove this pitch to this guy here, where it's a good piece of hitting, it's outside part of the plate, he's going away from it. But you can see there, you can put a pitch in the zone if you want to go put a pitch in the zone. So who do you want to do it to? Do you want to do it to the top of the lineup hitter, or do you want to do it to the guy at the bottom of the lineup? And we saw Weaver have the very same problem in this game early on, where he walks walls of the bottom hitter, gets back to the top of the order, and bingo, bango, you're in trouble. And that's, as a pitcher, you can't control everything. You can't control always where exactly you're going to put the pitch, but as a pro pitch, you can decide you're going to try to get a ball in there and get a strike, force him to swing the bat. Force the guy that's 212 to beat you. Force the guy who's hitting .212 to beat you when you have a 3-run lead. And today, this was a day where the Mariner pitchers decided that they didn't want to do that. Instead, they wanted to get cute and dance around the edges on this guy to go then have to then deal with the guys at the top of the order here that we're going to really be able to give you problems. That's tough. And then you have the coaching staff today with Service. I understand that he is got no faith in this bullpen, as evidenced by what we just saw a second ago. So some of this is drawn by the desperation of the situation, but asking Weaver to continue to go out there after he'd already thrown 4 innings and expecting him to kind of continue to hold serve at that point, I thought was a bit too much. And then he doesn't go and call upon Greg Spire when he has the option to flip the lefty over to righty. Some of it today with the Service on some of the calls with the 2 was a little bit off. And of course, we got the kind of typical trifecta with this too, which is the 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio from the lineup throughout this game. Only managing 6 hits. Savali's a really good pitcher. You're not going to get a lot of hits against him. Tampa Bay's got a good bullpen. You're not going to get a lot of hits against that. They got enough runs, you would think, to a degree on this at 5 runs, but that's kind of what it was today. That was what it was. That was a tough loss. Tough loss. Tony says, we've been really getting cooked out here. It's embarrassing. Yeah, it is a little bit embarrassing. As it does feel like maybe the team is starting to run a little bit out of steam at this point. They need an injection of life. They need some momentum. Got multiple times in this game, you're going to a bullpen with multiple times where you're going lefty-righty matchup out of your bullpen. Strange. Some strange stuff in this game from my perspective on it. Not that we didn't deserve to lose it. Props to the Rays. They won this game. And that's a clutch stroke there at the end, man. He hit that on a line drive stroke, opposite way, with power. That's impressive. But yeah, good game, Bucks Rays, and thank you for subscribing up. But good game, you guys. As I said before, you do have a really good team. You played a good game today. I talk about my team being able to, sometimes better just to generate things, generate production. You got the home run, but you also had the 5 walks in addition to your 7 Ks. Working counts, sometimes just getting the bat on the ball, put it in play a little bit more times than what I'd like to see our team be doing. We can still salvage this series tomorrow, 2-2, and come away with it that. The Mariners are still in the hunt. Everything is still well within grasp, but team needs to find some fire back. Sarah Vanilla says, thank you, John Knapp, for being the end-all, be-all on YouTube comment. I appreciate you, Sarah Vanilla, for jumping in, man. Thank you for popping in, and your question was a valid one to ask. I don't, with the switch hitting thing and why he was doing what he's doing. So I get where you're coming from on the question. Hope you understand that from my perspective with it. Let's see if our boys can bounce back tomorrow. Sean Lee says, well, my question was answered. Looking forward to a little Hawk football tomorrow. Oh, definitely, Sean will be doing the football tomorrow. I'll be on probably about 12 o'clock or so. We'll go live as we lead into to the start of the game tomorrow, and we'll have it going. So we got, if you're not subscribed, get over to the Hawks Nest tomorrow, as we'll be going live during the game, 1 o'clock. I'm sure very late on into the evening. I had a fun time here again with you, talking it up today again, thinking about the thought process for Ohtani and what's happening with that. Again, don't get too down, Mariner fans. I understand a little bit of depression here, but Mariners do still have this season within their grasp. They still can get this kind of turned around. It's going to be hard. Pitching staff's looking shaky right now, but it is not all for naught. There's still a chance we can grab it here. Bucks Rays, that was a hell of a game, man. Hell of a game. I appreciate you guys watching today, though. Thank you so much. We will try to be back as soon as possible here on the baseball side of things. It's kind of a fluid schedule for me right now, so bear with me on that. But we will get a couple more games in here before the end of the year minimum. Promise you on that. I do appreciate you watching. Please hit that like button if you do like what you're watching. And please, even in moments like this, times like this, please don't you ever forget.